Thank you. Ms. Lummis from the great state of Wyoming.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me get a couple of things straight about the BLM's process for valuing coal. Ms. Kendall, who comes up with the minimum price for coal?
Well, BLM has a process by which they come up with a fair market value.
Okay, and when they come up with a fair market value, does the bidder know what fair market value the BLM has put on that coal when they bid?
No, they do not.
Okay, so it's a blind bidding process. The BLM sets the price, and companies bid, and if they bid below that price, what happens?
Well, BLM is supposed to reject the bid.
Okay, well, and most of the time that happens, correct?
Yes.
So you found 2 instances where they accepted a bid that fell below their own minimum?
We found 4.
4. And do you know why they accepted bid below minimum? Was it just a Scrivener's error, a mistake or something?
No, they accepted it intentionally. They called it a slim margin, or they told our auditors that it was a slim margin, and rather than have to go back and rebid, they worked with the company, the bidder, to accept the bid.
And is there can you explain why these are not competitive, in most cases, leases?
Well, what I understand is that there are a very limited number of companies who actually
Not only
bid on
that,
it.
have you ever been to the mines? I mean, they are very far apart, and the Powder River Basin is enormous, and the infrastructure that is required to establish a coal mine through the permitting process, through the removal of topsoil, the removal of overburden, the coal mining itself, the replacement of the overburden, the replacement of the topsoil, the reseeding of the topsoil, the contouring back to the original contours. That is how mining and reclamation work, correct?
You are far more knowledgeable about that than I.
Well, that's how it works. Okay. And consequently, you can't just go in and say, hey, I'm going to go compete against Cloud Peak or Arch Coal and say, my gosh, I'm going to set up a coal mine. I'm going to go in there and bid against them and outbid them and set up a coal mine. It doesn't work that way, does it?
I honestly couldn't say one way or the other. What I know is that they are required by statute to establish fair market value, and that is what they're also prohibited.
Okay, so they establish fair market value, and it's a blind number to the bidder. So aren't there occasions where the bidder bids more than the established fair market value?
I believe there are.
So some companies are paying more. Actually, the American taxpayer is getting more for some of that coal as opposed to undervalued, correct?
That could be.
And did you look into that?
That was not part of what we looked into. At least the leases that we reviewed, we did not find, as far as I know, any where they were overbid.
You didn't see any case where the BLM set a price and the bid that was accepted was higher than the minimum that was set by I mean, how remarkable that these coal companies could bid to exactly the number that the BLM set without going over even a penny. Because as you know, 1 cent per ton on the 360 million tons that were mined, that's like $3 million. So a 1 cent per ton overbid or underbid, that's real. We're talking about real money, 1 cent. So they all hit them right on the mark, except those few that fell under.
Congresswoman Lummis, I'd have to get back to you with the details on that. I can't say one way or the other right here.
Does the blind process generally work to the benefit of the American taxpayer, would you say?
I would say that for the most part, the American taxpayer gets a fair return.
Gets more money. Are you willing to say that? Gets more money.
I cannot say that here today, no.
But you're willing to say that the differences that I heard the gentleman before me say that these were major flaws. really, would you characterize what you identified as major flaws? Or were they paperwork matters, accounting matters that the BLM, as I understand, has said, yeah, we'll take your recommended changes? Is that true as well?
BLM has accepted all of our recommendations, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.